be coloring in our image. And this particular one, because it's a winter scene, it's got quite a bit of white space to it, but there are some parts that we are going to color, and I'm going to be using dye-based markers for them. These particular ones are Tombow Markers. There are other brands that have dye-based markers as well that you can be using. And I will list all the colors that I'm using on the supply list. You can use the exact same colors that I'm using, or you can choose your own colors or just similar colors. It doesn't need to be the exact colors as this. So I'm going to put a little bit of green in the trees. You just saw I colored it's either a sun or a moon. I don't really know. I'm thinking it's kind of a little bit later at night. So I put some candlelight. I put some light in the windows there just to make it look like it's a little bit later at night and that they're lit. And I put some blue in the sky here. And I'm coloring fairly quick and easy. I'm not taking too much time to think about what I want colored where. Once we are done the coloring, we are going to be glittering the entire surface. So you're not going to be seeing a lot of really, really fine details. You'll still see detail through the glitter because we're using clear glitter, but you're not going to be seeing very fine detail. And really, when you do these glitter cards, most people are just fascinated with the glitter surface more than the color job. Now, having said that, if I were to leave a big streak in the sky white or color something wrong, you would still see it between the glitter. But you don't need to be too critical of your coloring job. So my sky is blue there. Let's put some brown in the trees. And the ink that we use to stamp it is perfect because you can still see some of the colors that we're using over top of the ink. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want it to be a lot of black space. I wanted to be able to see some of the color. And some of it we're seeing because there are open spots in the image. But some of it happened to be a stamp a little bit lighter, say in this area here, so you see it through that there. And I don't know, I'm gonna leave that. A little bit of brown on my fence, but there's not a lot of space there and they're quite tiny. This person with their dress, we're gonna color that green. And then we'll do some red here just to make it a little bit more festive. So I've got it completely colored there. So I have sheets of Sook Wang. You can also get them in rolls. I'm just going to be doing it by the sheet for this particular card here. This particular sheet has backing on both sides. If you do it from the roll, you don't have backing on both sides. You only have backing on one side. So I am unrolling it and I'm going to press my image down, face down into the adhesive. This is how we are glittering it. Tombow markers are water-based, dye-based. So we can't go put some liquid glue on top of them and then glitter it because the liquid in the glue would make the colors in the marker start to run. So I put my tape on here. I've got a little mat here that I'm going to cut on. And then I'm taking an X-Acto knife and I am just trimming off that adhesive there. And then there's a tiny little sliver of adhesive here. When these bits of adhesive on the side are a little bit bigger, I tend to keep them and I just stick them to the side of my roll and I'll use those to color or to glue cards together. But that little tiny piece, I'm not going to do that. So I can still see exactly where my image is in here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to take the backing off of my piece here, trying not to touch the adhesive as much as possible, and I am pouring glitter all over top of it. You don't need to worry about being stingy with the glitter because anything that goes onto this scrap piece of paper, we're going to be putting right into our container again. so nothing is going to waste. And you want to make sure that the glitter that you're using is transparent because we want to be able to see that image underneath. If you use white glitter, you're going to be covering that entire thing up. Then I'm taking the backing of my adhesive here and I am rubbing it. And what that is doing is that is flattening the glitter a little bit. It's giving it really good contact with the adhesive. And that way when you give your card to people, it's not going to be bleeding glitter. So there we have our stamped and glittered image. We'll see you in the next class or the next video where we're going to be putting our card together.